Climate Central says changes in the climate is making pollen season longer and more intense. Anthony's joining me right now. And Anthony, what's interesting about this is we had this conversation last year where I said, I feel like more people are telling me they have allergies, more intense allergies, they're lasting longer. I was like, I know climate change has to have something to do with this. You gave me a list of resources.
Yes. And what did they say? Because what's interesting is I was like, here's all the people that I talked to about a topic like this.
You gave me people like Michigan, California, yes, like all over the country.
And their answer was?
They said, that is an interesting theory. We'll get back to you later. They were like, we cannot confirm or deny anything right now, but I suspected that allergies were getting worse.
So Climate Central, who we work with as one of the places you worked out with, they went into a deep dive here and they did all the research. And so now we have some things to show you.
To prove my point.
Yes, so what anecdotally seemed true,
yeah,
now we're actually seeing. And so first of all, let's start with just the basics. We are now seeing a longer growing season. And so this is the change in freeze-free season length from 1970 to 2023. So when you're seeing the big green, that's basically a much longer growing season because you're not freezing as often. And look at these big dots here along the East Coast and even in New Mexico. Now, there's nothing here for Houston, but you go to the north of Houston, you have one green dot, which would show 15 to 29 more days that are above freezing compared to what we used to have. So moving forward now, what they're saying now is what you were saying anecdotally. What they discovered is climate change worsens seasonal allergies. So first of all, it starts with the burning of fossil fuels. That traps CO2. Warming extends the growing season and CO2 bursts pollen. And have you ever heard people say, well, climate change is good because things grow more? And so what they're saying is, well, here's the alternative to that, is that things are growing more and it's boosting the season, and in that is it's boosting the pollen. And so pollen season is lengthening and it triggering worse allergies. So that's what they're coming up with. But also what they discovered with this is that 1 in 5 children have seasonal allergies. CO2 and warming boost pollen and impacts children's health. More warming equals more pollen-related ER visits for children. So it's all because of this warmer world that we're living in. And how that affects us in Houston. First of all, I know a lot of people have been telling me, Sade here, where's Sade?
Yeah, people have been sniffling for months.
Yeah, she's like, how's the pollen? Because I'm just having the hardest time. And you just let's just look at the warmth in February. February was 4.2 degrees above average. So far this March, and even with the past 4 days below average and we had the rain, temperatures are still 4.3 degrees above average on the state. Now we still have a good week.
Because we hit 80s, even upper 80s, so many times this month.
For 2 weeks straight.
Wow.
Now look at this. Now I know this is something we've talked about on the morning show before for rain. So first of all, we did get 1.5 inches of rain yesterday overnight. So since midnight, this is about a ½ inch. So in the last 2 days, we got about 2 inches of rain. So how does that affect pollen? Well, what happens is as the rain falls down, what it does is it starts picking up all the pollen it's microscopic, and it picks it up. And once it reaches the ground, it's almost like a bomb that goes off. And so it spreads it more. Oh. So many times
pollen just explodes in the air.
You actually get worse pollen counts after it rains. And so we're high right now when you look at the pollen for tree. I have a feeling when we head to this weekend, it's going to be extreme with the oak because now everything's just basically burst out.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. I mean, this is crazy. But if we did have a year that had more rain than what we're seeing, would we then see more average temperatures? Like, would that cool us off a little?
Yes. But again, for this month, we're right at average. And look at how warm we are.
It's still warm.
It's still warm. So yes, if we can get a lot of rain, and think of last year. Last year, we did not have a freezing day in the city of Houston. So that was one of the rare days that we've had going back to like 1895. It was one of 10 years or 10 full years where we didn't have a freezing temperature, and it really does show what happens. And that really affects areas up to the north much more where it freezes or much more likely.
Yeah.
Rain does help. Rain helps. So whenever you can get average is always good. But we've been on this other side of average for years, and so it's really affecting.
I mean, it led to an emergency room visit for me last year. I mean, my allergies were high because of pollen. You know, seasonal allergies were high. I came into contact with a food that I'm sensitive to that I typically wouldn't have anaphylaxis with, but I did, and my doctor thinks that it was a big combination of my seasonal allergies were giving me a histamine response, this food gave me a histamine response, and it drew just drove my system into overdrive, and I can see that that's going to continue to happen.
And the whole point is that pollen season is now longer. Allergy season is now longer because of a warmer world.
So more opportunities for it to get really intense and really bad. So stay safe, take your allergy medicine. It's not something that you should take lightly. It can be really serious for your health. Thanks so much, Anthony. That was really, really interesting.